Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Yankee and Canuck podcast, a show where we discuss TV, film, and more.
And I'm your host, a Yankee.
And I'm your host, Canuck.
And today we're going to be talking about The Acolyte, Episode 4, aka.
Here we go again.
Yep. And yeah, just like the other episodes, spoiler warning. Not like there's a whole lot to spoil, really, at the end of the day.
They spoiled this whole damn show.
Yeah, I mean, they spoiled the whole series. They spoiled the whole franchise, so what's there to spoil? This is just nothing but rotting food in the fridge at this point. That's how spoiled this whole thing is. Okay, so basically in this episode, Osha and her Jedi friends are trying to find Jedi Wookiee. Meanwhile, May and Chimere are already on Wookiee's planet, and they're trying to find Wookiee too. So Osha enlists the help of a non-binary beaver or something. They sniff a rag that belongs to the Wookiee, and they're on the hunt. Meanwhile, they go into a forest, they fight some bugs, and then finally they get to the Wookiee's house, but turns out, oh, spoiler alert, Wookiee's already dead. And before the group can react to that, evil guy with toothy helmet comes in and force pushes him away, and yeah, that's the end of the episode. I'll say this episode isn't as bad as the last one. This one, they attempted to move the story along, but to what extent, I can't even tell you. I mean, there's barely any story progression in this one.
Yeah, I mean, we knew this episode wouldn't be as bad as the previous one. That being said, they dug themselves into a hole, and this episode doesn't really get them out of it. It's like someone just threw down a rope and, like, hey, climb up, and they're still just chilling down there in the dark, in the dirt, and the bugs.
There's like a flying roly-poly in this episode.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Just like I say, every episode we record, I'm still waiting for that Star Wars magic. I still haven't found it in this show so far. Still not impressed with the story, where it's going. Still not impressed with the acting, for the most part. Um,
Well, if we want Star Wars magic, we have to do the incantation. You ready? The power of one, the
no,
power
no,
of
hell
two,
no.
the power of many.
All right, we're done here. We're done here. Probably one of the only positive things I can say about this episode, and it is a positive thing. I thought visually the episode looked pretty good. Um, but with such a bloated budget, I mean, you kind of expect it to.
Bro.
So yeah, some of the shots were fine. I like how Kofar looked. That being said, the Kafar scenes were still so far from being where they should be, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You kind of it holds your attention just enough. By the end, though, it's over just like that, and then you're like, "Whoops! I guess we're gonna have to wait another episode." And hey, look, half the season's already over.
Halfway done. I'm so surprised. I can't wait to see how this show ends.
I mean, where is this all going? What's going on here, man? I mean, who's this fool? Honestly, who cares at this point?
Yeah,
It's a mess, man.
that's
What a
the
mess.
that's the more important question. Who cares? Like they really managed to kill all enthusiasm and all mystery, all this mystery they're building up to. Like, who's
No,
the audience for this? Like,
no.
who cares about any of this garbage?
It's a shame because although I went in low expectations, like I've said, I thought, the initial ideas it was promising. Whatever they had in mind, they're not executing it well, in my opinion.
No, I was actually talking about this with my friend who I watched the show with, and I was telling her, you know what this should have been? This should have been a season two idea. And the season one idea should have been something completely different, and you're introduced to Osha and all these other Jedi Masters, so that way we can get to know the characters. Getting to know the characters is important for us to care about what happens to them. When you're thrown in a situation where, like, there's a big mystery, there's a evil assassin killing all the Jedi Masters, my immediate reaction is, who cares? Just because they have lightsabers and pretty little robes on doesn't mean I'm gonna give a about them. You need
Yeah.
more. You need way more than that. But no, they just think, oh, like, okay, these stupid Star Wars people, they seem to love their lightsabers. So just put some lightsabers in there and put some fancy fighting and we call it a day. Yeah, we'll clean our hands, we'll call it a day. No, I'm sorry. No. There's a reason why a lot of people are falling off at a rapid pace because of this shit.
I mean, this is the first episode we get to see a lightsaber used once, I think, right?
Exactly, you're right. Yeah, in the ending, they just brandish them and that was it.
Force pushed into next week.
Yeah, this whole thing was just mostly a bunch of talking once again. And there's a character from the prequels, that dude who looks like the Coneheads or something.
Oh yeah, Kiari Mundi.
Kiandi Mundi, he's in this episode. So he's in the prequels.
He's in the prequels and he's in the Clone Wars animated series quite a bit as well.
There you go. But apparently the race didn't have a defining timestamp as far as like how old his race is supposed to be. So they kind of, I don't know if they retconned it, but they just established it like, oh yeah, this son of a bitch is really old. And but that opens up a couple of other things too, because I think in the clip that I see circulated is that he says like, well, the Sith they haven't been around for 1,000 years or whatever time period it was, and it's just
Yep.
like establishing that he doesn't know shit. But in this case, it's like he's kind of in on this whole notion of there's this evil Force user going around killing the Jedi Masters. He's like, hey, should we tell the Senate this? And then he's like, nah, I think we got this. We got this, guys. We don't have to tell him.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, sure.
It's definitely problematic. I mean, I saw him in the episode, and I didn't think it was actually Mundi because I was like, I from what I know, he wouldn't be alive at this time. So I was like, oh, okay, it's somebody of his race. I think they're called Thurians, I think. I forget what it's called. And so I was like, okay, it's a lookalike, someone. But according to the credits, it is Mundi, and that's a little potentially problematic. Like you
Yeah,
said in the prequels in episode 1, it says the Sith have been extinct for a millennia. The only thing is, of course, in this show, we haven't been presented any Sith. But the thing is, depending on where this goes, there could be a contradiction. And also, I would say, why not get the same actor? I mean, I guess you can make an argument why, but why not? So I don't know why. I mean, it is what it is, a minor thing.
yeah. Who knows? I mean,
Um,
it just seems like a cheap little cameo they decided to do, kind of like in the Last Jedi with
exactly.
General Akbar. Hey, let's get this familiar character in one of the old movies and just unceremoniously kill him off.
Yeah.
And then this one, it's just
You
like, let's get one of the older characters and unceremoniously make him like a adult. So
exactly. It goes along with what something you just said a moment ago. So one thing worth noting, like you said, was Jedi Master Venestra. I think that's her name, Venestra, the green one. And
yeah.
so they basically said, she said, let's keep this contained, and we're not going to notify the Jedi High Council. Okay, that's already a little strange. However, she did say something I think along the lines of because the Senate would end up finding out, and it obviously wouldn't look good for the Jedi Order. And I think that part I get it because it shows, just like in the prequels, it showed how there's way too much of a link between the Jedi Order and the Republic, and we saw that in the prequels and the animated series, and which is actually one of the issues that Count Dooku had with the Jedi Order. The corruption of the Republic and how the Jedi Order was way too tied in together with Republic affairs. It still doesn't quite make sense because Jedi typically wouldn't be hiding things from other Jedi.
Well, at this point, Jedi are just shown to be big, irresponsible assholes at this point that don't know what they're doing. They follow
Yeah,
this archaic religion that seems to really change as it goes, and they kind of make up the rules as they go. I mean,
yeah,
that's a bigger problem since the prequels, but in this show, it's just like, yeah, we're just gonna kind of make up our own as we go too. Why not?
exactly. Yeah,
But I'm like, I don't agree with everything George Lucas has done, but at the same time, it's George Lucas. He kind of knows what he's doing to an extent,
yep.
when at least when it comes to his own lore. And then you have people that don't know what they're doing, just kind of making shit up because they just feel like it.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's night and day compared to what he's was capable of doing and is capable of doing, and then what these bastards at Disney are doing. I mean,
Yeah. May and Chimere end up getting in the forest, and then May pretends like she's in trouble, which alerts the other Jedi very stupidly because she would know at this point she's probably being hunted, but whatever. That happens. And then, Chimere gets into a little trap. And then she's like, you know what? Since I saw my sister again after, like, 16 years of being apart or something, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm cool. I'm like, what? Huh? What happened? You were evil for a second ago. And in the last episode, you were shown to be psychotically evil, cartoonishly evil, two-dimensionally evil, and now you're good again. What the? What? Who's
yeah,
writing this?
yeah, it was abrupt. And it was strange.
It was more than strange. This is lazy as. What is this? Oh my god! It's like
Yeah.
someone literally wrote this, gave it to someone at, I don't know, Kathleen Kennedy or Leslie or whoever and said like, yeah, this checks out. This will work. So, and plus, like, of course, I theorized that the Wookiee was gonna get a lame death. Lo and behold, the Wookiee got a lame death. It's like,
Yeah,
bro, this thing cost $180 million, and you couldn't train the guy in the big monkey suit to fight and have a fight scene?
Yeah,
What the f, dude?
it's a missed opportunity right there.
On 100%.
I liked the moment there was some tension and it was kind of eerie when she entered there. And you already knew, I already knew he was going to be dead. And, you know, so
Well, yeah, that was kind of expected, but
ominous, and it was just expected.
you expect a big f***ing battle, at least a short one, like a kind of a cool one and stuff, and see the Wookiee do his thing. But no,
Exactly.
none of that,
Yeah.
bro. Revenge of the Sith. The budget for that was $113 million at the time. Probably a little bit more now because of inflation. And that son of a bitch had a lot of fucking Wookiees in it. There was like a short battle scene with Wookiees in it.
Yeah, on Kashyyyk. Yeah.
Yes, that movie, which had less money to work with, had more Wookiees in it doing shit. And this show has $180 million. One Wookiee, and it doesn't do shit.
Yeah, pretty much. What's his face? Tel Naka. What did he do? Made some bullshit herbal tea or something?
Yeah,
some grass stew?
He
It's all
made some
making-
grass stew with a little bit of Roundup on the side.
They couldn't even show the poor bastard hunting and cooking up something proper like meat stew. They made the Wookiee a damn vegan.
Yeah, not only that, he was a vegan. He was in the background just kind of standing around doing nothing, and then he just dies.
Yeah, he was meant to nap off his grass stew in the chair, and then it was night time for the Wookiee.
Permanently. I got a fun fan theory for you. You want to know what my fan theory is? It's a good one. What the f*** is Disney doing with $180 million? What are they embezzling? It ain't going in this show. It's not going in this show at all. There's some black market that Disney's funding. I swear to God.
Yeah, let's the next 4 episodes, But that's the thing, how often am I gonna have to say that? Well, the next episode might be. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
I think this show's over. I think this is over.
Yeah,
it's a wrap.
I think so too. I'm only gonna keep watching this to see how far this car gonna sink in the quicksand.
Still low expectations. Obviously, it's a disaster so far, but
Cratered.
I'm obviously gonna still watch it and hope we get a couple good scenes out of it and some entertainment value. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, good for the people who are enjoying it. There are some people out there that are really liked this episode, the last episode. I know the majority are not fans of this, but I thought once again, the first 2 episodes I thought were all right. Let's see where they go, and it's not a good direction they're taking, but yeah, let's see what happens. And I feel like a broken record. I keep having to say that, but and then you have scenes like when I don't want to say Sith antagonist, but the Dark Force user, he kind of slowly descends. He's hovering and he descends down in that last scene of the episode. I mean, it's cool. I've never seen that in Star Wars before, except for maybe the video game. But the thing is, like, you have these little eerie, dark elements, but the show isn't really, getting to that point, or isn't even when she was killing Master Jedi. It's more cartoony than anything, sort of being dark and sinister, and So I think it's just also they don't know what they're doing, man. Like,
no, they just were like, hey, let's put a kung fu scene in here. Cool. All right. Let's have droid chairs. That's great. I love the droid chairs. That was great. And yeah, Pip, the little Game Boy SP droid. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's just like,
yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, this show is just not doing a good job with the writing. It's not really keeping me interested. I mean, it's honestly kind of sloppy. There's glimpses of potential initially, but then you need to give the audience more than this. Like I said, this episode has a few interesting parts, but it just abruptly ends. Like, what the hell is that? Hell, I think episode itself was only 25 minutes or something, right? I mean, I could be wrong. It felt like it was only 25 minutes.
Yeah, no, it's really short. I mean, like, at this point, it's just like, well, on one hand, I was kind of glad that it was short because I'm like, I don't want any more of my time to be wasted. But on the other hand, I'm like, well, it could have been a little longer because it ended really abruptly, and it felt like we didn't really go anywhere with this episode until that, what's his face came down with a red lightsaber and force farted the other Jedi away in the super powerful force blast, by the way, which I'm just like, okay, we never seen this kind of power before. Are they just hyping this guy up to be like the most powerful evil force user of all time? Because no, man. No, this ain't gonna work. I'm sorry. You can't take the action figures and go like, and then this one's going to be more powerful than Darth Vader and Palpatine combined. You can't do that. I'm sorry. You can do that, but I'm not going to accept it.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So even though this was a complete waste of time, stay tuned, I guess, for next week to see how far this is going to go.
That's right. Hopefully that hole they're still in, they grab the rope. Maybe they take a few steps up. I doubt it. They're probably going to take a few steps up and fall back on their ass. But let's see. Let's wait and see what happens.
I'm waiting for that character who's holding the rope to just get the knife out and just slowly carve at me like,
You stay down there. You stay down there, all right?
It puts the lotion on its skin. It does what it's told.
You go down there where you belong.
Please, God, get me out of this hole. No. Oh, God. All right. See you guys later.
All right.